Hey everyone, how you all doing out there? Thanks for downloading and joining us on the program today. My name's Grant alongside the beautiful Chantelle. Say hello, Chantelle.
Hey everyone.
And this is the Changing Our Ways podcast, a podcast that is essentially dedicated to our weight loss surgery community. This is a show about you guys. And what we are trying to do is kill the stereotypes every single day. I'm a bit nervous today. It's our very first episode of a podcast. Never been part of a podcast before, but I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm pretty excited to be alongside Chantelle doing this. How do you feel about it, Chantelle?
I'm the same as you. It's nerve-wracking. I mean, this is something that we've talked about doing for a while, and here we are actually doing it now.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think one of the main reasons we really wanted to start this is because there isn't really actually anything out there like this for our community. The weight loss surgery community has grown so large over the last couple of years. It's grown exponentially, and one thing that isn't out there, there's a lot of Instagram groups, there's a lot of Instagram posts, and a lot of Facebook and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of social media overall, meetups and all that kind of stuff. But there isn't actually a podcast, and it's something that I'm pretty passionate about, and something that I know you're passionate about as well. And we really got a lot to share, from our own experiences, but we really want to share everyone's experience. We want everyone to be a part of this. We've started this, but as you know, we want other people to be involved.
We want this to be your story.
Absolutely. So this is, I suppose, where we're starting today. It's a bit of an introduction about us, a bit of an introduction to our show. But over the coming weeks and hopefully over the coming years and for the foreseeable future, we'll actually see a lot more of everyone out there. We won't just see experiences from us and experiences from the people that we know, but we want to hear from people around Australia. We want to hear from people around the world. We don't want it to be just one little thing. And I suppose what we want to hear is just pure experiences. We have to say from the start, we're not medical experts. We're not doctors. We're not nurses. We're patients. We're just like everyday people. We have gone through the experience of weight loss surgery. Both of us have been through the gastric sleeve surgery, and we've got friends that have been through gastric bypass and lap band surgery. But we've also got a lot of friends that have just done it naturally, just doing the good old exercise and diet routine. And there's a lot of us out there that are sharing different tips, sharing different recipes, for instance, exercise ideas, all kinds of things. And we're also coming up against challenges in our lives, complications after surgery and different styles of going about things.
One thing that I also want to add to that is that this show is a way for us to pay it forward. There's a way that we can give back to the community. I feel like I take a lot from the community in regards to people giving me really nice positive comments and messages, saying how inspirational I am, or saying how I've encouraged them, or same for you, Grant, like you are in the male community now. I want to be able to give back. There's a lot of people out there that are quite silent. We got secret sleevers that deserve the recognition.
There's definitely a lot of things that we're going to be covering in this show, a lot of different subjects, that are both very prevalent within the actual community itself, but also things that people might not think about. And Chantelle, you can go through a few of those right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a list of approximately 100 things that we can talk about. So we've got taboo and myths, we've got talking about secret sleevers, accountability, exercise, anxiety and food, talking about food prepping and ideas. How do you keep yourself motivated with food prepping, because it can be quite boring. We will get to the nitty-gritty stuff and talk about the after effects for people that suffer with body dysmorphia. Also talk about, the positive weight loss role models that we have in our community today.
And one thing that we are definitely going to be I suppose bringing up quite a bit is really the tagline from this show, which is killing the stereotypes. And one thing that it really drives us, and I know a few of our friends are the same, is that we're really kind of sick and tired of hearing the stereotype and having the stigma around surgery, and that it is the so-called easy way out. And that's one thing that we really want to get rid of out of this community, because a lot of people who have gone through this, including ourselves, and I believe the majority of the community would agree that is by far quite the opposite. It
one of
can't
the
be further
hardest
from the truth.
things that we've done.
Absolutely. It's easily the hardest thing I've done in my life. And I've certainly had it easier than others. There's been people that have had a lot more complications than what I ever had after my surgery, but it's more than that. It's more than just having surgery and losing the weight. It's actually about changing your life and changing your lifestyle and actually choosing to live a richer and better life. And there's a lot of negativity around that from people who don't believe in that surgery is an answer. And we're seeing more and more people have surgery these days, and a lot of them are actually uneducated about it as well and think that it is the easy way out. They go and have surgery and then find that it is much harder than what they thought. So we'll be certainly covering that in great detail over the time. But in the meantime, I suppose the way we'll end this episode is just to tell you a little bit about us. And Chantelle, why don't you tell our audience about just a little bit about your journey? We're going to hear a lot more from both of us over the next few episodes. But tell us a little bit about your journey, where you started, what your, I suppose, immediate time pre and post-op was, and where you're at this point in time.
So my start weight was in the high 170s, so 179.9. I shouldn't have gone to the toilet that day because I would have been at 180. I was told I had to do 8 weeks of pre-op, which I had to start New Year's Day. It was horrible. Gradually came round to surgery day. My run wasn't as smooth as some people's, but I bit and got on with it and did as much as I could do. I've lost 97.7 kilos in 2 years.
That's a pretty fair effort.
Yeah, so nearly at that 100 mark. Nearly.
And I suppose part of your journey, which once again we'll cover in a lot more detail when we get a bit more feedback through the community as well, is that you actually have a side effect of having a lot of excess skin from your weight loss.
So I'm actually battling a disorder at the moment, and it's a number of them: body dysmorphia, also a fear of eating at the moment. So there's a couple of things that I will open up and talk about, and I'll be brave and I'll do it, but I kind of want to share this with everyone because there could be someone out there who is alone and doesn't know what to do and just needs that little chat just to say, hey, you're not alone. And
I really encourage the ladies and the men out there that aren't quite sure what body dysmorphia is, or want to know more about it, or may even think that they're experiencing them themselves, to really tune in for that episode when we actually come to it, because we're actually trying to get a lot of different perspectives on that, not just Chantelle's, because there'll be a lot of people out there that are actually experiencing it and have gone through it before, so we want to get a lot of different opinions on that.
So enough about me. What about you?
No, we can just talk about you all night, can't we?
No, I'm pretty sure we'll bore everyone because, I post my life on Instagram.
Well, I suppose, I'm very much the same. So I started in the high 170s. I was at 179 also. And I've always been a big kid and big guy most of my life. And the funny thing about me is that I always enjoyed exercise, so it was just the fact that I overate. I was very much an overeater. I would eat until I was absolutely full and I could not put anything more in my mouth.
Did you come from a family where if you had a plate in front of you, you weren't actually allowed to leave the table until it was empty?
Not so much, but I suppose we're always a big family. Like the majority of my family, we have been bigger. I wouldn't say the whole of my family have been large or anything like that, but we've just eaten food, and not necessarily bad food. Like I would say that every other person in my immediate family actually enjoyed healthy food like vegetables and things like that, whereas I would just turn my nose up at it because I and I'll talk about this in another episode as well, is that I actually believe that I changed my mental state myself, because I didn't want to eat healthy food that much, that I mentally just changed my own taste buds. And it's a bit strange to talk about, a bit strange to say, but I would get to the point where I literally just would not eat something purely because I thought that it would taste disgusting.
Especially if it was green.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt whatsoever. So I ended up obviously deciding to go through with the surgery after my sister had gone through the surgery the year earlier. Saw that it had been successful, so that I wanted to go through with it myself, and had the sleeve a month after yourself, and had very little complications. I had a really easy run after that, so that's, as I say, I can talk from that experience that I had a really good run, unlike a lot of other people out there. And the lowest I got down to was about 98, so just a little bit over 80 kilos.
That's still an amazing accomplishment in 2 years.
Yeah, and look, I'm really happy with that. I didn't actually really want to be below 100, so as what most people experience, I've gone up a little bit, so regained, and the body has settled. But now
people need to learn not to be afraid of that when you get to that time. So if it has been 2 years or 3 years and you do put the odd kilo on here and there, it's easier said than done.
It's so common. It's not... We see it all the time. It's just not something you are not going to experience. You're always going to experience a regain at some point in your life after surgery. It's almost impossible not to see it.
I think one of the scariest words post-op is maintain, because you constantly are questioning, how do I maintain?
Well, you've just been through like a whole year or two of just consistently losing weight, and that's what you're used to. You're so used to stepping on that scale and seeing it drop, and we become scale obsessed, and
it's not healthy.
No, not healthy at all. And I think there's a lot of people out there that can really identify with a lot of things that we're saying, and we'll leave that obviously for another day. But there's certainly a lot that I took out of that I was really happy when I reached my goal weight of 100 kilos, but at the same time now I've almost become a little bit more scale obsessed again, with wanting to get better and lower, even though I never wanted to in the first place. So yeah, there's some interesting things that come out of that for sure.
I think that's why I don't like having that goal weight which is set, because once you pass it, you get this rush to lose more, but you can think of an obscene number. You're not going to get there, but you'll push your body to its limits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% correct. So I think with that, we'll leave that for today. I mean, I suppose what we just want to mention is that this show is really going to develop based on what we get in terms of feedback from you guys. What you want to see. One of the main things and one of the main facets of this podcast is going to be interviews with people in the community, and as I say, from not just Australia. We're going to try and do that all over the world, and it's not going to be just patients as well. We hope to get doctors and nurses and people that are experienced in the field so that they can provide advice. But once again, I'll be really straight up and really can't stress this enough. We are not medical experts. We will always provide information or advice based on off our own experiences and people that we bring onto the show and their experiences. We can never give you a medical opinion. Okay, so if you are wanting to get 100% medical opinion, expert opinion, we would always encourage you to see your doctor or your specialist. Please don't rely purely on the information that we give in this show. Certainly it is always going to be from experience and from really good and healthy knowledge, but don't just take that as gospel. Okay, it really is important that you do seek absolute 100% medical advice if you are after that level.
So guys, if you have any questions, any feedback, there'll be a link on our Facebook page and Instagram where you can send us an email or leave a comment. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming up, so we'll do some little competitions and giveaways. We'll be, doing shout outs for who our inspiration is for the week, and we want to do like a reader back session. So we want to hear from you so we can represent you.
Yeah, and hopefully in the future we can actually go out there and go to some of these meetups that we have been attending ourselves and actually do live shows from those meetups as well, and really get a lot of people providing their own material for those shows. And once again, we'd love to see some guest hosts come on board later down the track. We'd even love to do some YouTube videos just to show people's transformations, but we'll certainly give a lot of that and a lot of shorter versions of that on our social media pages, so our Facebook, our Instagram at least, and follow all the links from there. Absolutely.
And the giveaways are coming out of Grant's allowance.
You wish. What, little Matchbox cars?
I was thinking Kinder Surprises.
Kinder Surprises? Yeah, I can afford that. So, yeah, we can certainly provide that.
They're sleever friendly.
Sleever friendly.
But they're sliders, so no.
Yeah, no, we've got to watch that slider through. All right, guys, so we'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much again for downloading. We really appreciate everyone who is going to be listening to this show. We hope that we can do more and more for you guys and really have some fun along the way.
And if you can think any topics, let us know. Anything that we haven't covered, come back to us and let us know, because we like to talk.
Absolutely. All right, guys, so that is it for episode 1 of Changing Our Ways. Thank you once again for listening, and this is us signing off.